Hey, and welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed our SDCC 2023 coverage. We saw a ton of new reviews, a ton of surprises, and I want to get back into our review season by starting to look at some of the Comic-Con exclusives. First up, I got to look at this awesome VHS TMNT 3, the 4-pack. We previously looked at the Secret of the Ooze pack. So you guys, if you want to see that, go check out our video. A lot of people enjoyed taking a look at those. Those were some of my favorite turtles, although the movie wasn't as popular as the first. It was still pretty cool. So continuing on with that tradition, NECA has done the third 4-pack of turtles in a VHS box set, you can see here, mimicking the artwork of the original film VHS release, but with the action figures replacing the characters. Going over a bunch of traits here, and you can see this box is gigantic. I barely fit it into frame. And on the back, a little synopsis of the plot, along with what's included in the box. It kind of disappointed in this movie, not this figure set, but this movie. It had so much potential. Could have been TMNT 3, Turtles in Time, and it could have went to more than just feudal Japan. But we did see the original Casey Jones actor come back, along with the Paige Turco, who played April O'Neil in Secret of the Ooze, and then carried on to the third one. So we had a little bit consistency there, but and then Corey Feldman was Donnie again. So we did have some consistency between the characters, except for that transition between the first and second film when we had April replaced. But let's check out this set because it's got some parts that could work with your other turtles as well. All right, well, this is a really big set, so bear with me here. So the slipcover here will just slide off, preserving all the characters underneath here that you can see, and we'll do a quick pan in a minute after I get the front off here. But you can see them in their action shots on the back here. NECA always does this with their figures. They do some action figure photography, and I think it's really cool just to show you the potential of what these characters can look like. And of course, this is going to be sealed by just one simple piece of tape at the top. So easy to open, nothing to stress with this. Ease of opening is always a big thing for me with any character. I always struggle with these guys when they have tons of clasps and different packaging on them. That's not usually the case with NECA. There's some fun artwork here that looks like it's film inspired as well. So let me try to sneak this out without tearing it. And you can see the turtles here in their sort of feudal Japan look. So nice 17th century Japan artwork there. So that's a fun background. They always do those kinds of backgrounds with the characters, so it's appreciated here. So let me do a quick pan here so you can check these guys out. You can see the characters here in their Honor Guard armor already displayed this way. You can't remove this, so this is just their look. The face masks you can, however, put on and off. Those are optional. And then you can see the three scepters there. You got one working scepter, one damaged scepter, and one sort of homemade scepter. So it includes the three different versions from the film. So you could have them in any scene you want. And then we'll go over to the second layer here. So you could see, and this is going to be accessories, but yep, I fell for it. There's another piece of tape here that I didn't see. And that is just holding the accessories in place. So let me just grab this really quick. There we go. Always one evades me. So here we go. The second layer of accessories, which I'll show you here, is going to be an assortment of heads that you could use on any of the different figures from any of the movie lines, one or two. And then you get a mixture of rapiers, I believe that's how you say it, the saber-like swords. You have the katanas for Leo, you have the bow for Donnie, you have the nunchaku for Michelangelo, and then you have the assortment of hands here as well, and the sai, of course, at the bottom for Raphael. So all the accessories are included in this one sort of easy to go to place that is taped in on multiple sides. So make sure you find all of those as you open it. And NECA's little pressure fitting use here makes it easy to reseal these when that time comes as well. And then there's also soft goods, cloaks included on the side here, which I'll give you a better look at in a minute. And a ton of hands, because it's NECA. They love giving you a ton of hands to go with these figures. That's just what they do, just to make it a little bit harder on you. So I'll start going through these one at a time and give you some close-ups so you can check them out. Okay, well here we have Leo in his Honor Guard outfit. These tops kind of pop off. They're locked onto the headband here. You could take the honor guard mask and just kind of maneuver it on top like this. And then the helmet, I like to just pop it straight back on because it doesn't like slide into place easily and lock. Now these cloaks on the honor guard figures are all the same except for Leo's, which has cutouts for his katana holsters here. How do you get it in, you're wondering, if you have this set? Well, very carefully. So I slung it over the arms first and then went straight down onto the top 2 holes to get through the first 2 katana here. And then I just kind of stretched it a little bit over the bottom ones since they're rounded. It's easy to maneuver them around. Nothing tore. I was able to get it on there. I'm not sure how I'm getting it off, but that is basically our fully assembled honor guard Leo. He has his standard NECA articulation in the wrists and the arms, and then the shoulders here on both sides, although sometimes you get one stiff arm. And then the legs are going to be a little restricted because of the armor here, but he still has that hip movement, and then he still has that double knee, and then he has that ankle articulation here on that ball joint, so you get some movement there in the leg. The legs, again, are going to be restricted by these pants that are one solid piece, so you can't take him further back than this. So no superhero poses this time around. And there's no ab articulation with the body. He could bend a little bit at the waist, but not much. I mean, the range of motion, because they're wearing this armor, is a little bit more restrictive than usual, and it makes sense. I mean, it's this kind of armor, and I'm sure warriors in that period had the same limitations on their articulation. And then we look at his accessories. He has his katana, which is his signature katana for Leo here, and they slide right into those holsters, no problem. And they're not falling out, so that has some good grip on them there. And then they can put him here in his hands as well. Now these, I think, comes pre-assembled with the weapon holding hands, so you could pretty much put any hands you wanted on him, and they will slide in here. And now he got his double katana Leo, all set to cause some havoc. Beyond that, he has an assortment of hands that the hands, I think, will go with any turtle you want. So we have the fists, we have the gesturing hands, or the slightly different grip on them. We have wide open hands if you wanted to do a open sort of hand, and then a finger pointing hand as well. So an assortment of hands. I don't think I need to go through them all, that allow you to show some expression to the character. And then of course his alternate head here with a more of a grimace. And this head will fit any of the other previous turtle releases. So if you wanted to put him on here, you could put the head on here, just to give him his unmasked look as well. But I think it fits just fine. Once you pop this off, you could have an unmasked look to him. But that is essentially our look at Leo. So why don't we check out Raph next? So with Raphael, I wanted to take a minute to really explore that detail on these figure sets. I'm going to start by taking off his helmet and just show you how that pops off here again. It just kind of clicks off. There's that sliding system to get it in place on the headband. Now you can see the great detailing on his armor here, including the buckles, or the straps, sorry, on the inside here where it's sewn up. And then that designing of the little flowers here on the back of his inner robe. This is going to be consistent through all the turtles. You can see the shell poking out a little bit here. They're wearing basically the same armor between every single figure, so the bodies are exactly identical. It's just the heads that are different from body to body. So there's just that reused mold 4 times here, so not too much difference, and that great detailing on the armor in the front, and this layered piece of belt that just kind of sits on top there. If you wanted to use that as a way to holster his sai, you can. It's a snug fit, but so is his original belt, so you could put the sai in there. It's a nice way to holster them since he doesn't have any kind of holster for the sai. To get the cloak on, we're just going to throw it on like a jacket. I'm going to swing his arms through. I always like to bend one backward here and just kind of maneuver it in. And then the cloak will fall into securely in place. You could tuck it under the headband if that's the look you want. Kind of lets it layer a little bit more, holds it in place a little bit too with the headband. And then it has that wire mesh, or that wire piece throughout the front, so you can mold it around him, make it a little bit tighter fitting if that's what you desire. The mask will just slip on the face here. I go from the beak first, and then I push it back. It doesn't go over the headband. It doesn't need to. It will fit securely like this, and it will give it that look once you snap the headpiece on. The headpiece basically just snaps in this way. You just kind of push it back into it, you hear a little clicking noise, and that means you got it into position. If it doesn't fall off, you did it right. If it does, it's not on tight enough. Now the articulation here is exactly like that Leo. You have the same elbows and wrists, movement here, and shoulders, and it's restricted by the pants into that armor, and the ankles are on that ball joint, but the knees don't really bend much because of that armor in the back, and he just has that little bit of midsection in the torso there to bend. The sai will fit in the hands here. They're going to be a little bit loose because his grip is a little bit loose like this. If you wanted to get a little more precision, you could use one of those precision grips that I showed you before with Leo. I'll see if I could find one here by chance. No, it's a fist. There's one in here somewhere, believe me. I had it just a second ago. That's what happens when you clean up. You can't find anything ever again. Here it is. Here's a precision grip. So you could see the thumb turned in a little bit more to grip that side, to grip the nunchaku. So you could always switch that out in order to get a better grip. But that is basically your look at Raphael there, with all that great detailing on the helmet, on the armor, underneath the robe, on the robe itself, everything all the way down to the sandals. Great detailing there. Underneath you got some peg holes if you wanted to put them into one of those NECA holders you find at Target or other stores for the different lines. Like I said, consistent body, so there's not much difference here. So this is, you've seen one detailed figure, you've seen them all. Just the differences are going to be in the heads, and the coloring of the beards here will vary from character to character, brown, black, purple, just a little bit of, and a gray, so just a little bit of assortment there that match up with the masks that they wore in their honor guard costumes on screen. So that is our look at Raphael. Let's move on to Donatello. Before I get into Mikey, I forgot to show you Raph's alternate head. He's got this great grimace. Raph is always the angry one. Of course, you could use this head again on any of the other bodies, so nice to switch out. Get a lot of expression of figures. We get the accessory packs, and they have alternative heads in them as well. Maybe we'll get an accessory pack for TMNT 3. But Mikey here, again, with the same sort of outfit and body used for all the turtles here. Since it's all covered, I guess they could do that. There's no unique sort of spots other than the head. So they could alternate those bodies throughout all the turtles here, this honor guard costume. So there's not a lot of variety in how the turtles look. But you could pop on his mask here. He has the brown one, so a little bit different than the others here. Or it's a little bit different shade of brown, and that helmet locks in place there, and then we could get his sort of his cloak here on as well, and then we got our third turtle all dressed up and ready to join his brothers here in his full sort of regalia. Here's that helmet. So I said if you don't sort of push it in and lock it in right, it's going to keep coming off, so you got to get it in just right there, and you'll feel it like sort of pop into place when you're putting it on. Otherwise, it will just come off. So if it doesn't pop, then you know you're not doing it right. So we got his cloak on, and of course, Mikey comes with his nunchaku. And these are not a chain; they're kind of like a loose, sort of like plastic line between the two of them. So you could pop those into his hand. And again, if you wanted a little bit of a finer grip, you could switch in with this alternative hand here. There's also these fun rapier style swords that you could use here as well, and then this one's got a big guard on the front here, so you could use these with any of the turtles. I think it was Mikey that used it in the film though, so I want to make sure to include one with Mikey for a second. I know something you don't. I'm not left-handed. So yeah, so you could pop these in as alternative accessories as well. And Mikey also has his head with the open mouth here. You can see the great teeth on there. And this head you could use in any of the other turtles as well. So that's kind of a consistent thing, is they gave you some more fun accessories, even though you don't really need them for this specific pack. You could use them any other way you want. And there's our other nunchaku, a little bit looser in this hand. But like I said, you could use whatever hand works, whatever hand does the job. So that's Mikey. Let's move on to Donnie. So rounding out our set here, we have our Donatello figure. He's got this great sort of like fun look on his face. I like that one. His alternative head, I'll show you here, is an Angry Don. So you get the Angry Donnie look as well, which you could use with any of the turtles. But this Donnie has sort of a purplish hue on his mustache and beard here for his mask. So we'll line that up on his beak, or whatever that is called for the turtle. And then we'll put the, actually I'm going to try putting the robe on first and seeing if it looks a little better locking it underneath the helmet as opposed to on top of the helmet here. So try to wrap it around the headband. See if we can get this to look a little bit more seamless of a style. Just playing around, seeing what works. So with Donnie, we'll do that first, and then we'll push this in. There we go. It looks a little better, but it's slipping out either way. So that is our Donnie here. And like I said, same articulation, same design. There's no sort of holster for the bow in the back like we've seen with the other versions of Donnie. A little disappointing there, but I don't think he had one in the movie. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that film, and it's not one of my favorites, so I'm not going to go back and watch it. But we could sling his bow into his hand here, and you could do that one or two hands. You could change up the grips. You could change up the hands. So a lot of options here. So if we wanted to do a two-hand display, I might bend this arm and then get a nice two-hand grip on the bow. So you could do that with Donnie. So a little bit of fun with the way you could maneuver and display these. And then of course the MacGuffin of the movie, the Mystic Scepter. Any of the turtles could hold this here, but you could see that little time tuner in the middle. It doesn't spin. So a little bummed about that, but I don't know how you'd make it spin unless you had like a little thing on the side here. And you get some nice Japanese writing on here. Kanji is that, I believe that's what it's called, right here on the front. This nice ivory looking handle. And then you have, of course, the broken version. So it has that shattered glass there on the two sides. So this version is null, and it's a little more antiquated looking. So this is, I guess, the one on the turtle side, and then the one on the other side. And then you have that homemade version as well of the scepter here with the bamboo shoot. You can see it broken here at the bottom. And then all the other components here, a little ornate looking at the top. So you get the three versions of the magic scepter here for the time scepter. And that is pretty much all the accessories included in the set. I think that's enough to get you started. And I anticipate seeing an accessory set for these turtles. I don't know. Like I said, the third movie wasn't as popular as the other ones. So unclear. It missed all the classic bad guys in it. So unclear at this point if the NECA will continue that line. But there's a ton of stuff coming out for Secret of the Ooze. More figures and stuff to round that out. So we'll see. So that is our close-up look at the turtles. And that wraps our look at the latest VHS pack from NECA of the movie line, TMNT 3. Could have used more of a title there, honestly. Turtles in Time, if they called it Turtles in Time, would have been a huge letdown because it was like one level, basically. Really great detail. Love the honor guard suits. Love the option of taking off the hats and the masks. Love the alternative heads and how the heads could be swapped with any bodies from any of the other movies. So fun with the soft goods cloak, fun with that individual Leo one that allows you to be able to put the swords in and out as well, although it's a little difficult to get that on. I still appreciate the effort they went in customizing the cloak for Leo here. So you can see the set, pretty cool. Of course, the stealing the show here, the scepters. Very nice detail on these things, very, very ornate looking and really capture that movie magic. So this set was sold at Comic-Con and pre-ordered, available for pre-order through NECA Store. It sold out through NECA Store. I don't know if it sold out through Comic-Con. I was only there through the end of the day on Saturday, and they still had some. Whatever they didn't sell, they're likely put up for sale on their store. They do these periodic sells where they're just surprises and they're selling existing or past stock of exclusives or other sets. If you see it pop up, grab it, because if you want it, your chances of getting it in the future are null, because once they produce something like this, it's gone forever. If you look at the prices for the TMNT Secret of the Ooze box set, it's ridiculous. You're looking at double to triple what it was initially. Maybe even more than that. And the first box set, if you could even find that, you're looking at 4 figures now for some of them. which is crazy. So this one, I think even right now, is starting to double up on the secondary market. So if you have a chance of grabbing it when it comes available for regular sale again on the NECA store, do it immediately. So keep your ears open, follow NECA's social media channels to see if that's going to happen. If we see anything, we'll let you guys know. So that's all for this time. I was glad to check out this box set finally. And that rounds out all the Turtle movies, or the old school Turtle movies. I know there was another weird one done live action at some point. I never saw that. But that's all for this review. As always, like, subscribe, and follow. We're going to be having more SDCC exclusive reviews in the coming weeks. So keep tuning back for those, and we'll see you guys next time.